Okay, in this video, we're going to go over how to create a network switch in the 9-line portal. So we're going to navigate as an admin into the management section, and then we're going to click the Create Network Switch option. And once we've created the network switch, we're going to be presented a dialog to assign a display name, map the agent that's responsible for polling the switch, the sync interval for how frequently we'd like to poll the switch, and then also define the version and the protocol that we're going to be using to discover phones connected to the switch. So we recommend that you use version 3 because it has enhanced privacy and encryption capabilities. And if you have a non-Cisco switch, you'll use LLDP instead of CDP. Let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to assign our display name. Our agent's automatically populated. We'll pick the version and put in the IP address of the host. Now note, if we needed to pick a different agent for polling this particular host, we would change that from the dropdown. But since we have just this one agent in our environment, let's continue. So our default ports for SNMP are 161 and 162. You'll keep those unless there's a need to change that. Put in your username for the SNMP v3 config, as well as the authentication password and the privacy password. We should note that Cisco switches only support SHA-1 and AES-128 for most of the models today. So we default to SHA-1 and AES-128, and you only need to pick SHA-1 in the algorithm section down below. So we'll go ahead and select that. And now we'll go ahead and save and enter in this switch. Okay, now we see that the switch has been created and we see that the status is healthy. So the agent is now going to attempt to reach that switch and communicate with it. You'll notice in real time that the description is going to update with the model number. Let's do a synchronization to go ahead and pull in all the port information right away. Now we see that the device is healthy. Let's go and take a look at the ports. And we see our ports are showing up. Along with, we also see a particular device is located on gig 106 already. We'll go ahead and go back into our switch. And let's do some diagnostics just to make sure that everything's communicating correctly. The run diagnostics is going to simulate all of the OIDs that we will query from the 9-line agent against this particular switch so that you can see all the values that are returned. And we see all the information about the particular switch, how long it took for us to communicate with it is 2 milliseconds. We see the OIDs and their values. We also see all the switch ports, and we see, in addition, the VLANs and everything that's essentially available on that switch. Lastly, you'll notice at the bottom is the duration of 10 seconds. That's how long it took us to pull this switch and gather all this information from this particular agent. This can be useful if you're having issues with connectivity or timeouts. You can see how long it's taking the agent to pull the switch. By default, we let this run for 10,000 milliseconds or 10 full seconds, which should be enough time for most switches. We'll go ahead and close this out and cancel out of the diagnostics. And now our switch is ready to use and ready for us to start assigning locations to those ports. Thanks.